everyone, it's Megan here from Megan Makes Do, and today I'm going to show you how to work a center single crochet, aka the waistcoat stitch. So for this tutorial I am using Hobby Lobby's I Love This yarn in white, and I'm using a G hook, which is a 4.25 millimeter. So to start, I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook, and then I'm just going to chain long enough so that when we join it, you'll be able to see what I'm doing, and you'll be able to see how the stitch comes together. So since we're not following a particular pattern and we're just doing a tutorial, if you want to try this at home and follow along, just chain a bunch. You don't need to worry about a specific number of chains. So once I've chained a little bit, now I want to join my chains together. I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain we made to join, making sure that my stitches have not gotten twisted up. Okay, for our first row, we're going to chain one and we're going to single crochet into each chain around. And this is how you'd start any waistcoat stitch project. You need to start with a foundation of single crochets. Because as the other name, the Center Single Crochet, you can guess that waistcoat stitch, aka Center Single Crochet stitch, you use single crochets. It's just a matter of where you insert your hook that's going to make it different from the regular single crochet. So I'm just going to continue to single crochet all the way around. Okay, so here we've gotten to the end. I'm going to make sure I'm flipping this so I'm right side out. And then we're going to slip stitch to the top of our first single crochet to join the round. Okay, so now we're going to start our first row of the waistcoat stitch. And so we're going to chain one, and normally we would work right back into the top of this first single crochet, but we're actually, it's a little hard to see, we're going to be working in between these two bars here. So every single crochet stitch, there's like 2 bars in the front, like a little V, and we're going to be working in between those stitches. So I'm going to insert my hook in between the bars, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2. So that's our first waistcoat stitch. So now again, if you can see here, do you see the little V's here and here, these 2 bars that make the V? We're going to insert our hook into the middle of there, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2. And you'll see as we go, you'll start to see the V's become more prominent. You'll be able to see them a little bit better. So again, going through the front of the stitch, work a regular single crochet. So remember, for typical single crochet, we go through the top 2 loops, but for waistcoat or center single crochet, we're going to go through the front in between those 2 little bars that make the V. And then you'll see when we do this next one, the V's are a little bit more prominent. And after this initial round of center single crochet, it'll be a lot easier to see for the next couple rounds. So I'm just going to work all the way around, going through the front of my single crochet stitches in between the V's. So you'll notice that since we typically stick our hook back here, you're going to be going a little bit forward. So if you see, here's the whole stitch, this hole here is where we would normally insert our hook. Instead, we're going here. So it's a little bit farther forward than a normal single crochet. So the nice thing about this stitch is it creates a little bit thicker of a fabric. Since we're working our single crochets kind of around the stitch instead of just into those top loops, we're going around those top loops. And it also produces a stitch that looks a lot like a knit stitch. And you'll often hear this stitch referred to as waistcoat stitch. I like to call it center single crochet stitch. I think it can also be referred to as the knit stitch. But if you see stitches where you can obviously see the front V's very well, it's usually the waistcoat or center single crochet stitch. Okay, so we've almost come to the end here. Work our last center single crochet stitch. And then again, I slip stitch to the top of our first stitch to join. Okay, so then again, to do the rest of your rounds, if you're working the center single crochet in the round, which is usually the easiest way to do it, we'll chain one, and again, instead of going into the top of the stitch, we're going to go in between these two bars that make the V of the stitch. And it'll be a little bit easier to see this time around. Okay, so as you can see as we go around, you'll see how it kind of mimics the look of a knit stitch. And you'll see all these little V's in the front of your work. And then here's what the back of your work will look like. So that's how you do the waistcoat or center single crochet stitch. If you're looking for some patterns that use this stitch, I've provided some links in the description to a couple different patterns that I have that use this stitch as well. So happy stitching!